So a few people have messaged me saying, Rob, where in the world are you? And I'm like, there's a global pandemic. Where do you think I am? I'm at home. People that go backpacking, at most, we're a little bit adventurous. We're by no means immune to global catastrophes or anything like that. So where have I been during the pandemic? I've been sat here playing Animal Crossing. Playing a lot of Animal Crossing New Horizon. But it's all been worth it because my island looks sick. Let's have a look. So this is me in Animal Crossing. Can you see any similarities? This is my Lithuanian Animal Crossing island. Well, this section of it is Lithuanian anyway. So this is Uzupis in Vilnius, Lithuania. So at the entrance of Uzupis, you've got this big sign and there's a Mona Lisa sticker there as well, which I've got represented here with the actual Mona Lisa and just some random arty bits, which is very Uzupis. And then you've got the bridge that goes over into Uzupis, and of course under the bridge, if you traipse across the water, you've got the Swing of Fate, as I have done in real life. Three or four times now I've been there. It's like underneath a boardwalk which belongs to a restaurant, which is there in real life as well, and their food there is delicious. This is just the restaurant extended. It's got quite a cool kitchen and it's got like a ice shaver and a smoothie, which is very Uzupis. This is the bookshop in Uzupis. The mayor of Uzupis was a cat and he lived in a bookshop, which again, if you've seen my video, the first Lithuania video, I did go there in real life and meet the cat. Sadly, the cat was involved in a car accident and is no longer alive. He is represented here with his litter box. So that's the bookshop that is there in real life and is definitely worth a visit if you go to Uzupis. And they sell postcards of the cat as well when he was mayor. He lives on in my Animal Crossing. The cat mayor of Uzupis lives on in my Animal Crossing island. If you kind of go along the riverbank in Uzupis, it's just got random like stone statues, abandoned pianos, random bits of art. It's a really cool district and I've got that represented here. We've got a piano, just random like lamps, bits of art, stone, bird, bath, tiger. There is this one, for some reason I remember this really vividly, there's a stone with a washing machine front on it, so I kind of tried to recreate that here, and these random statues as well. This is meant to be like the Jesus statue, the first backpacker on top of the piano. I've recreated that here. So there's a wall in Uzupis with like the declaration in all different languages, so that's what I've tried to recreate here with all these different stone tablets. If we cross back over the river, we come to our steam room spa, which is actually based on a real life spa in Finland, in Helsinki, which I went to a few years ago with my friends Annie and William. Changing rooms and little pool, little jacuzzi, and then the steam room. Steam room's quite hard to do outside in Animal Crossing. I've got like the sauna heater, and then I've got a diffuser, which is sort of letting off a little bit of steam. And you can sit here and relax in the steam room in Finland, just across the road from Lithuania, just as I have done in real life. And then if I put my wetsuit, you can do as I did in real life, sit in the steam room, get really hot, and then run outside and into the ocean. Except in Helsinki, the ocean was a lot colder because I sat in the steam room, ran outside and sliced my leg open on an iceberg. Great decisions. So the city centre is kind of based on most European city centres, modern city centres anyway. They're not that exciting generally. It's got a little market that always sells fruit. Here it is, one of the highest grossing games of all time. Wow, those graphics. And you might have some remnants of history, like an old well. This is my version of the three men on the west coast of Denmark in Esbjerg. Mennesket ved havet, or Men by the Sea. I know, I'm flawless in Danish. I've been here for all of one day. This is the entrance of my island when you come out of the airport. And I've got a load of bikes here and like an area where you can grab free stuff. I was thinking Rotterdam, just a load of bikes, or Amsterdam, anywhere in the Netherlands really, any travel hub, with a load of bikes outside. And then generally there's a lot of free like furniture and stuff in the streets in the Netherlands. They love just upcycling stuff, it's very Dutch. So that's the vibe I was going for here. Oh, and these, again, very Lithuanian or Central Europe in Poland, these are hugely popular, these Lime scooters, which is actually such a good idea. They're a real pain for everyone else except Lime scooter users, but they are everywhere, especially in Lithuania. You just see them all over the place. People just dump them in the street. She's not happy for some reason. Why? You're living in the best place in the world. Have I not done enough for you? The flag is the Chinese symbol for Wong, my surname, and the colours are based on the Swedish flag, so blue background with yellow highlights, lines. And the island is called Älskar, which is the Swedish word for love. Oh, here's my wife, Silvana. She's glad to see me, because we're married. She's trying to make the most of the day by sitting next to the river and having a lager at 10 to 2. Glad to see my marriage is going well. In the summer during lockdown 1, it's been a long lockdown. We actually had a wedding day, Silvana and I. So that's how my lockdown is going. So a lot of places in Europe, in Central Europe and in the Baltics, they have like a town centre, a city hub, like a modern business hub. And they also have an old town, which is like the medieval centre. Really, I was thinking here Tallinn in Estonia, which has one of the best preserved old towns that I've ever been to. I really like Tallinn. We've got like horse and carriage here just to stick with the vibe. I've used here, this is the farmer's silo item. They don't actually have like a castle turret in Animal Crossing. So I've used the farmer's silo here and kind of tried to make it look like a castle entrance with the cannon and the flags. And then this is sinister for a kids game. They do a gravestone. So I've made like an old overgrown graveyard. I was really thinking Tallinn here. They've really preserved that medieval town centre really well in Estonia. Honestly, it's such a cool place. It's very affordable as well to visit. Tried to recreate that here with this old town marketplace, selling like medieval items. Kind of witchy vibes here as well. And the old well as well. I love an old well. They're always around in old towns. I got a bit obsessed with that old well. Here's the bucket here. When I was travelling with Ash in that castle in Slovakia. So I've kind of represented that here. And then we've got an old castle. So here I was really thinking Gjirokastër Castle in Albania. It's really well preserved and they've got a lot of the original furniture and stuff like that. It's a bit out of the way. It's one that's maybe not so popular on the tourist trail. I really remember as well really vividly they had like the holes in the walls where the chefs baked the bread, which I've kind of tried to preserve here with the original pots. And then you've got the outside area, which I've tried to modernise, and this is like the campsite in-game, but I've tried to make it look a little bit like a stage. And I was really thinking Pristina Castle here in Kosovo. So I've tried to recreate that memory here with the little stage. Here's my little cat. This is Oscar in real life. He was disrupting me when I was trying to record this video. You're just gonna sit there? So we go over this bridge and we've got the botanical garden. So this took way more time than it should have. I have bred, or with help from my friends, I have bred every single flower in Animal Crossing. In fact, here is all my paperwork. Flower, name, colour, version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, final version. But it does look sick, and it was during lockdown 1 when we literally could not go outside or exercise. So if there's ever a time to make this sort of thing, then's the time. So this is actually based on the botanical garden in Gothenburg in Sweden, which is where I planned to spend my summer 2020, because I went there in the winter and absolutely loved it, but everything was dead in the winter, obviously because it was winter in Sweden. I've recreated what I thought it might look like, the botanical garden in Gothenburg, but I'll probably never see it in the summer at this rate because lockdown just never ends. I've got the petting zoo, which again is based on the park in Gothenburg. If you saw my Gothenburg video, just promoting another video there. and they had a free like petting zoo. They've not got that many animal items because obviously the animals in Animal Crossing are people, they are the residents of the island. So we've got like the mole statue, Rossetti, ducks. Probably should have done more ducks because there were a load of ducks in real life in the petting zoo. A peacock. Again, there's not that many animal items, so I just had to use that to fill the space. That's the petting zoo. We've got the orchard up here, which is more, again, this took hours to create in the game. More practical gameplay reasons. I've got one of every fruit, and then that was more just for making the money within the game. But kind of also realistic to Gothenburg. Behind the botanical garden, you've got this big, I mean, it's probably not that big or epic hike, but at the time it was really heavily snowing when I was there. So it felt like so epic going through the forest. But it was, if you did it in the summer, it probably wouldn't take that long. I'm sure we'll be fine. Just gotta try not die today. And then over here, right next to Sweden, we've got Little Egypt, which I don't know if this is too raw or too close to the bone, but from what I remember of Cairo, there were a lot of stray dogs, there were a lot of rubbish, and there was a lot of traffic. So that's what I've recreated here. We've got the vans, we've got the dogs, and just bags of rubbish. I mean, like, that's just what I remember from Egypt. That's how it was. The streets were just piled with trash, with rubbish, and there were just a load of animals everywhere. So Egypt is not like you imagine, especially downtown Cairo. It's different to how you kind of perceive Egypt. And then obviously there is that section of Egypt which you do expect. So I went on a big hike. If you saw the video, if you made a video on this, of course. I went on a big hike up to the pyramids, and rather than getting a guide, I just decided to walk it myself across the desert. And then I sat and I had lunch by a rock, which is here. It was just this massive slab of concrete in the middle of the desert in Cairo. It didn't look like a natural rock. They don't actually have a pyramid item. They don't actually have many sort of Middle East items in Animal Crossing, which is a shame because I'd really like to see like more Ottoman style. I'd love to make an Ottoman style house and things like that. I've actually had to use a kid's tent item, and then I've just turned it around and made it look like the pyramids on the sand floor. This is Pizza Hut, because obviously after I finished my hike in the pyramids, I stopped. I saw a Pizza Hut within sight of the pyramids. So I had my pizza, which is here, recreated. Oscar? Oscar, you're back! Oscar! See, I'm just harassing Oscar in real life as well as in Animal Crossing. Oh, my boy! My boy does not want to know. No, don't nuzzle the tripod, you're going to make the camera shake. So this part of the beach is sort of inspired by Lipaia. Doesn't matter how long I spend in Europe, I will never get used to soft J's. I'll always read it as Lipaia, where I went hunting for amber. Mostly all I found was seaweed, and the beach was pretty empty. So I've just got a load of seaweed and the odd scrap of amber. We've got Klaipėda beach in Lithuania, and then this is the bike that I cycled 100 kilometers on that day in the video that I made when I cycled to the Russian border. It was not a road bike, it was not built for cycling 100 kilometers on it in a day. It was horrific. I was chafing hard. And then we've got some of the popular Lithuanian exports, Latvian, Baltic exports. We've got just a load of amber. These are meant to be like people working on the dock, because at the end of the bike ride I finished at an industrial dock, which I've tried to recreate here. The lighthouse isn't realistic, but it looks kind of cool, fits the vibe. We've got toilets, importing cherries. We've got my house, which is actually not European inspired. I've tried to make this more like Eastern vibes, more inspired by like Taiwan, Hong Kong, some of the walks I've done around there. Very water focused, centralised walkway with these steps on either side, which just aesthetically looks nice. And then we've got my house with these stone lions and like a Zen cushion. And then my house is sort of inspired by like the big old buildings of Taiwan from the old Chinese dynasties, like the old China before the PRC. So that is my island. I'll give you a quick house tour. So this is my living room. It's kind of autumn vibes at the minute. I've not really updated it. But it's just a load of food, an open fire, like my absolute dream, just a load of plants. TV. This room, not very inspired, just realistic, just a bathroom with a hot tub. This is my spare room, which I sublet. I've got a whole backstory. I've spent a lot of time in this game, way too much time. So I've sublet this to my high-achieving housemate, who is a water bug. So here he is working from home, obviously, because there's a pandemic. So he's got his computer set up. As I said, he's very high-achieving. He's got all these statues and awards. He's really into the stock market. Spent so long on this game, it's embarrassing. So this is my bedroom, which is just based on a cool bedroom. Got a katana, my Nintendo Switch, and that's it, my guitar, just kind of what I would have in real life, really. And the top floor in the attic, this is just what I would have in real life. I would have like a Chinese sky bar. Every like classic Chinese restaurant has just a fish in a tank. Just vibing. He's just chilling. And then the final room of my house is the basement, which is actually based on a real place. This is based on a Dutch coffee shop. It is on a specific coffee shop in Rotterdam, actually, which is sort of underwater themed. You go in, it's like a steampunk underwater coffee shop. Got the steam floor here, obviously, to replicate the smoke. And then you can buy a load of snacks if you get peckish. And then obviously a coffee machine for the coffee. Oh, I've got a safe in there where I store all of the profits. So that's it, that's my Animal Crossing island. I'll probably just stay here in Rotterdam for a while and enjoy some coffee. So thank you for watching this Animal Crossing tour and for reminiscing on some of my videos from a past life when we used to be able to travel the world and actually go somewhere. I hope you enjoyed it. So thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Yeah, he's vibing. He's vibing. He's happy here. He's had some purple haze. That is a big, big vibe.